Alright, introduction to note-taking and how to do it. So far, we have covered everything about speed reading. I hope you have done all the lessons and solved all the questions you might have. If you remember, I've told you in one of the initial lessons that the purpose of reading is to understand the text and everything else is secondary. I have asked you not to make notes while reading. I told you instead to add light marks on the margins. Once you finish up with reading, now you can start taking notes. In this lesson, I'm going to give you an overview of this process. Okay, the popular ways of taking notes are the followings: highlighting and underlining, writing important points on the margins, taking linear notes on a separate piece of paper, the Cornell system, and finally, mind mapping. Before I start explaining every concept, I would like to clarify the purpose of taking notes. So, why we take notes? First, notes help us save time while revising. And second, notes simplify the memorization process. So, let's get started with different ways of taking notes. The first two, highlighting and underlining, and writing important points on the margins. The first two ways are self-explanatory. While reading, you have to put light marks on the margins. While making notes, come back to that section where you have put the light marks and highlight or underline it. You can use different colors if you want to. You can write summary of the entire paragraph or important keywords on the margins of the book. Reading what you have written on the margins will make you remember everything you have read previously. Okay, the third idea, taking linear notes on a separate piece of paper. I think this is the most followed method. If you are using it, you write the important keywords, sentences, or even entire paragraphs on a separate sheet of paper, or you can even have separate notebook for each topic or subject. You make notes in the linear format, one line after the other. You use only one color and maybe one or two colors to make notes. Usually, one color is enough for these types of notes. The fourth system, the Cornell system. This is excellent for taking notes from a lecture, and I'm going to delve deeper into it in the next lesson. And the fifth idea or system, mind mapping. This system is large, is huge, and I'm going to cover it in details in several lessons after we will describe the Cornell system. Now, in the end, in this introductory lesson on taking notes, there isn't a best way of making notes and there is no right way of doing it. Whatever works for you is the right way of doing. Remember this. Alright, thank you very much for your attention and let's move on to the next lesson.